The next question is, what are you offering them? How can you really help them? So going back to the segments you provided, what is your value proposition? What are you offering these guys, this segment? So how do you help Zakaria, the 3D animators who are doing animated movies like Ice Age? What is your value proposition to them? Yazid, how will you help, these students who want to go and evaluate other kind of programs and learn from them? Naha, we still haven't heard from you about your niche target market. Okay, so Zakaria, render the movies faster. So how much faster, Zakaria? How fast can you make them render their movies? What is the percentage of improvement on what they currently do? Or what is currently in the market? So what's the, tangible benefit that you're giving them? 1,000% faster. Wow, that's huge. If you could pull that off, that's really great. So up to 1,000. Okay, so you've corrected it a bit so that we don't catch you on it. All right, so Yazid is saying, from my experience, I wanted to study in the U.S., but I have a British certificate, so I wanted to know what SAT exams to think about. I didn't have a clear picture, ended up in Germany. Okay, so great. So Yazid, going back to that first point we were talking about in innovation, your unique experience, you could see now how you're capitalizing on your unique experience to identify the business you want to really go into. And this is great. This is really a first step because from your experience, you've learned a lot. And based upon that, you've identified a problem that you can solve through your solution. Now, what we're talking about in the value proposition is how are you solving that problem? And the more you can quantify it, of course, the better. So Zakaria was saying he could help the rendering process or improving the rendering process up to 1,000%. What I'd like you to do, Zakaria, is to go into more details on that and say exactly, what does that translate into hours? What does that translate into saving of time of a 3D animator? Calculating how much is this animator making during that kind of time, and then being able to demonstrate how much you're actually making, helping this 3D animator make more money. Okay? So that's where your, value proposition really starts to be very efficient and is clearly demonstratable to your client base. The channels. How will you reach your clients? So in the case of Zakaria, how are you going to sell this software? Are you going to sell it through resellers? Are you going to bundle it with Apple laptops? Because Apple, usually 3D animators would work with Apple or work with some specific brand. Will you provide it? Okay, software as a service. Excellent. So how are you gonna reach directly to them? So you don't have any middlemen. You're gonna be directly reaching to your client. And Yazid, same question to you. How are you going to be reaching your students? Will you be going through schools as your channels? Will you be providing it directly? So the idea is, how does each one of your customer segments wants to be reached? And what are the interaction points? Do they interact with you on your website? Do they interact with you on your through different partnerships that you do, through resellers? Do they go and buy your products from the supermarket? What is the way in which they interact? And Zakaria is saying through online communities. So you want to mainly drive it through the web and have a direct kind of challenge to it. Yazid is saying selling a yearly license of the program to the schools. All right, so now, Yazid, what I'm saying is you could be possibly, when you go back to your target customers, it seems you have two target customers. The first ones are users who will be benefiting and using your product and service, but the guys that will actually pay for you are the schools. And the schools are going to be your other customers. Yeah. All right, so that's a different way. So how then your channel becomes, how do you get to the schools? So your schools are not your channels in this case. Your schools are also your customers in this first block which I'm putting here. In your case, your channel could be that you go directly, you put some sales teams that go directly to the schools and sell them the software, whatever you're giving them. Or it could be that you go and work with existing companies that already sell today to the schools.